The museum air smells like champagne and expensive perfume, and Ella Petro cannot breathe. She stands in front of her canvas. Lone light. Tucked into a corner of the annual Modern New York showcase. Her name is printed small on the placard. The spot is bad. The lighting is worse. But people keep drifting in anyway, pulled by something quiet in the paint. A couple pauses. A woman in pearls whispers. It hurts to look at it. Ella keeps her hands clasped behind her back so no one sees them shake. She wears a plain black dress, her hair pinned up, her heels borrowed from Lena Cole. She tells herself she is here to watch. To listen. To learn. Not to hope. Then George Halstead arrives with laughter at his back. George owns the gallery that forced Ella into this show. He wears a velvet blazer and the smile of a man who thinks he can buy anything. 3 young men follow him, trust fund boys in crisp suits, bored faces, hungry eyes. George stops in front of Lone Light. And snorts. Petro. He says, loud enough for everyone nearby to hear. You really think this is art? The trust fund boys chuckle. One points at the figure in the painting, a woman sitting alone under a street lamp. Looks like a sad little rat. He says. Did you paint yourself? Heat climbs Ella's throat. She keeps her spine straight. George leans closer, voice dropping, but still sharp. I gave you this wall. I gave you this chance. And you repay me by saying no to a simple dinner. No to a little private conversation. You are not some saint, Ella. You are a nobody with a brush. Lena is on the other side of the room, stuck talking to a curator. Ella is alone. Ella lifts her chin. My work is not your property. George's smile turns thin. Everything in my gallery is my property. A few people pause. Phones tilt, pretending not to record. The room is suddenly smaller. George spreads his hands like a patient teacher. Let me put it in words you understand. You want a future in this city. You want a studio that does not leak. You want collectors, reviews, a real show. All of that is a door I can open. He steps closer. Or slams shut. Ella's voice is steady because she learned to make it steady years ago. You can slam it shut. I will still paint. George's eyes flash. He grabs the bottom corner of the canvas. Then watch your future tear. He says. Ella moves without thinking. Do not touch it. George yanks. The frame creaks. People gasp. Ella reaches out, fingers desperate, and her hand catches empty air. A hand closes around George's wrist. Not Ella's. It is a man's hand, large and sure, the kind that has never hesitated in its life. Let go. A low voice says. George freezes. His face twists as the grip tightens. Who the hell are you? The man steps into view, and the air in the corner changes. Black tailored suit. Crisp white shirt. No flashy jewelry. Just presence, heavy and controlled, like a storm waiting for permission. Elias White. Ella knows his name the way everyone in New York knows it. White Group. Real estate, tech, media, philanthropy. A family that funds museums and breaks companies with a phone call. Elias looks at George like George is dust on his shoe. Who gave you permission? Elias says. To make a scene in a room my family sponsors? George tries to laugh. Mr. White, this is a misunderstanding. I was just correcting my artist. She is difficult. Elias does not blink. You are ripping her work. George's wrist is still trapped. He swallows hard. She owes my gallery. She owes me respect. Elias finally lets go. George staggers back, rubbing his wrist. Elias turns his head and his gaze lands on Ella. For a heartbeat, he looks startled. Not by her dress or her shoes, but by her face. Like he has been hit by something he did not see coming. Then his expression goes unreadable again. Ella feels exposed. She hates it. Elias turns back to George. White Group owns 3 galleries in this city. Starting tonight, you are banned from all of them. George's mouth opens. You cannot do that. Elias speaks calmly, which makes it worse. I can. I will also call every institution that values my family's donations. They will not take your calls. They will not take your shows. You will not step into a serious art space again. George goes pale. One of the trust fund boys mutters. We should go. George lunges for words, any words. Mr. White, please. I made a mistake. I will apologize. Elias gestures with 2 fingers. Security, silent and efficient, appears like they were already waiting. George's friends stumble away first. George is dragged after them, still trying to talk, still trying to bargain. When the corner empties, Ella realizes she is breathing too fast. Elias stays. He looks at lone light again. His eyes narrow, not in judgment, but in focus, like he is reading a coded message. It is honest. He says. Ella blinks. What? The painting. He says. It refuses to beg. The words punch through her chest in a way she does not want. Ella forces her voice to stay cold. Thank you for intervening. You did not have to. I did. Elias says. That is it. No explanation. Like his decision is law. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a simple white card. No gold. No fancy font. Just a name and a number. Elias White. He holds it out. Ella does not take it. Elias's eyes flicker. Surprised, then something darker, almost pleased. You are Ella Petro. Ella hates how he says it, like he already owns the syllables. I am, she says. And I am leaving. She turns, ready to escape the crowd, the whispers, the heat of his attention. Ella. The way he says her name stops her like a hand on her spine. She does not turn. You are being targeted. Elias says. By small men who think fear is a leash. Ella's fingers curl around her clutch. I can handle it. No. He says. You should not have to. Ella finally looks back. His face is calm, but his eyes are not. There is hunger there. Not crude. Not playful. Focused. It terrifies her. I do not need a protector. She says. Elias steps closer, just enough that Ella can smell clean soap and something sharper, like cedar. He does not crowd her. He does not touch her. He just exists, and it feels like pressure. From today. He says, voice soft. You are under my protection. Ella laughs once, bitter. I do not belong to you. His mouth does not move, but his gaze locks in. I know. Then, with the same calm, he adds. And still I will not let anyone hurt you. Ella feels her old scar open inside her, the memory she buried under paint and silence. She takes a step back. Mr. White, you do not even know me. I know enough. He says. No. She says, sharper now. You do not. Men like you always think you can buy people. You think you can fix them like a problem. I am not your project. For the first time, Elias looks genuinely offended. Do not mistake me. He says. I do not buy what I want. He lowers the card between them, not forcing it into her hand. I take responsibility for it. Ella's pulse slams. That line is worse than any offer. It sounds like a promise. A threat. Both. She turns and walks away before she can do something stupid, like believe him for a second. Behind her, Elias watches, and Ella can feel it like a spotlight. She makes it outside into the cold night air, and only then does she let her breath shake. She tells herself he is just another rich man with a hobby. She tells herself she will not be pulled in. But her phone buzzes with a new message from an unknown number. Get home safe, Elias. Ella wakes to the sound of her phone vibrating across her kitchen table. It is 6 in the morning. The winter light is gray. Her apartment is small, clean, and stubbornly hers. She sleeps on a futon because a real bed feels like a luxury she has not earned yet. The message is simple. Coffee is on the way. Do not refuse it, Elias. Ella stares at it until the letters blur. She types back. Do not contact me again. 3 dots appear. Then another message. I will stop when you feel safe, Elias. She throws the phone onto the couch like it burns. 20 minutes later, someone knocks on her door. Ella peeks through the peephole. A delivery man holds a tray with 2 coffees and a paper bag. Miss Petro? He asks. This is paid. Ella opens the door just enough to take it. The coffee is hot. The bag smells like cinnamon. She sets it on the counter and does not touch it. Pride is a weapon. She has used it to survive. An hour later, Lena barrels into the apartment without knocking, cheeks pink from the cold. Tell me you saw the news. Lena says, dropping her tote bag. George Halstead got banned from 3 galleries overnight. People are losing their minds. Ella stares at her friend. Do you know what he will do now? Lena's expression hardens. He will try to punish you, but he cannot touch you anymore, not with Elias White watching. Ella's stomach turns. That is not comfort. Lena looks at the untouched coffee. He sent that. Ella does not answer. Lena sighs. Okay. Before you spiral, listen to me. Elias White is not a normal rich guy. He does not do random favors. If he is paying attention, it means he is serious. That is what scares me, Ella says. She goes to her studio room, a corner of the apartment divided by a curtain. Her canvases lean against the wall. The smell of paint calms her until she sees a new box sitting on the floor. Ella freezes. The box is huge. White tape. A shipping label with her name. No return address. Lena. She calls, voice tight. Lena walks in and whistles. That looks expensive. Ella kneels, fingers trembling. She rips the tape. Inside are professional paints, brushes, a new tablet for digital sketches, and a small envelope. She opens the envelope and pulls out a printed note, clean and plain. Use what you need. Return what you hate. I will not be offended. Elias. Ella's throat closes. She tries to shove the box back together to pretend it is not there. But the paint tubes gleam like temptation. Like rescue. She texts Elias. Take it back. I do not accept gifts. His reply comes instantly. It is not a gift. It is a correction. Someone tried to steal your future. I am putting it back. Elias. Ella's hands shake harder. She types. I do not need you to correct my life. He responds. You need space to breathe. I can give you that, Elias. She wants to scream. She wants to throw her phone out the window. Instead she sends one more message, because anger is easier than fear. Why? Why me? There is a pause long enough that she almost hopes he will not answer. Then the phone buzzes. Because when you looked at him, you did not beg, you did not smile to survive. You chose yourself, and I have not seen that in years. Elias. Ella reads it twice. 3 times. The memory of the museum floods back. The way his hand closed around George's wrist. The way the room obeyed him. The way his eyes had not obeyed anyone. She forces her face blank and goes to work. By noon, the world finds her anyway. Her email pings. A message from the Westbridge Institute for Fine Arts. Congratulations, Ms. Petro. You have been selected for our spring residency program. Full tuition has been covered. Please confirm your attendance. Ella sits down hard on her stool. Lena reads over her shoulder and gasps. That residency is impossible. People wait years. Ella feels cold. This is him. Lena's grin is sharp. This is power. It is a cage. Ella whispers. She types a response to Westbridge, declining. Her finger hovers over send, then freezes as another email arrives, this one from her landlord. Ms. Petro, per the new property owner, your lease is terminated and your deposit will be refunded in full. You may remain rent-free for the next 12 months at no cost. Please contact the office. Ella stares until the words look unreal. Her phone buzzes again. Do not panic. I bought the building because the landlord was raising rents to push artists out. You can stay. Elias. Ella's breath catches. It would be easier to hate him if he was cruel. It would be easier to reject him if he was selfish. But this looks like protection, wrapped in control. She types. You cannot buy my home. He replies. I can buy the deed, not you, Elias. Ella laughs, but it is a broken sound. That night, she locks her studio and tries to walk to the corner store for groceries. The street is wet from melted snow. The city is loud. Her nerves are raw. Halfway there, a black car pulls up beside her, moving slow. Ella's pulse spikes. She speeds up. The window lowers. Ella. Elias says, calm as if he is greeting her at a party. She stops short. Are you following me? He looks at her, expression unreadable. I am making sure you are not alone. I am not a child. She snaps. No. He says. You are a target. She tightens her grip on her bag. I will call the police. Elias's mouth twitches. Call them, then tell them George Halstead sent men to your street yesterday to take photos through your window. Ella goes still. You are lying, she says. Elias's eyes do not move. I do not lie. He opens the passenger door. Get in, I will drive you. I am not getting in your car. Ella says. Elias exhales once, slow. When he speaks, his voice is softer, but it is the same steel. Then I will walk behind you, and you will hate me for it, and you will still arrive alive. Ella's vision blurs with sudden fury. This is exactly what I mean. You decide. You control. You do not ask. Elias holds her gaze. Asking is for things I can accept no to. Her chest aches. The old memory rises, sharp and bitter. Marcus Gray smiling, telling her work was safe with him. Marcus promising. Marcus stealing. Ella forces her voice down. You do not get to be my answer. Elias says. I do not want to be your answer, I want to be your shield. The street noise fades. Ella hears only her heartbeat. She turns away. I do not need a shield. Elias does not argue. He steps out of the car, locks it, and follows at a distance that makes her skin crawl. He keeps his promise. She arrives home. Safe. Furious. Lena calls her later and says. He is outside your building. I saw the photos. He is standing there like a statue. Ella goes to the window and looks down. Elias stands under the street lamp, hands in his coat pockets, head tilted up, watching her window as if it is the only thing that matters. Ella's throat tightens. She pulls the curtain shut with shaking hands. And still, she cannot stop thinking about the fact that he stayed. Marcus Gray returns like a ghost that never died. Ella sees him first in a reflection, a polished glass door in Soho, the city blurred behind him. He wears a tailored coat and that familiar smile, warm on the surface, cold underneath. The same smile that once made her feel chosen. Her stomach drops. Lena's voice snaps through her panic. Ella, do not look at him, keep walking. But Marcus is already moving toward them, fast, confident, like he owns the sidewalk. Ella. He calls. Wait. Ella's feet lock. Her hands go numb. Lena steps between them. No, you do not get to say her name. Marcus's smile flickers, then resets. Lena. Still playing guard dog. Lena bares her teeth. Still stealing what you did not earn. Marcus ignores her and looks at Ella, eyes softening like he is performing for an audience. I have been trying to reach you. I did not know where you went. I heard you are showing again. I am happy for you. Ella finds her voice, thin and shaking. Leave. Marcus lowers his tone. Please. 5 minutes. I owe you an apology. Lena snaps. You owe her work. Marcus's gaze sharpens for a heartbeat, then turns gentle again. I was young. My father pressured me. I made choices I regret. Ella feels the past slam into her ribs. A hallway in college. Marcus pinning her sketchbook against a wall. His breath in her ear. Trust me. Ella steps back. Do not come near me. Marcus's smile tightens. Is this because of White? Lena's head jerks. Watch your mouth. Marcus's voice grows sharper, the mask cracking. Do you think Elias White loves you? Men like him do not love. They collect. The words hit a bruise Ella pretends does not exist. Marcus sees it and presses, hungry. He will drop you when you stop being interesting. He will replace you with someone easier. Ella's hands shake. Stop. Marcus reaches for her wrist. Ella flinches so hard her vision whites out. She yanks away, trembling. Do not touch me. Marcus holds his hands up, smiling like a saint. I am sorry. I did not mean to scare you. His eyes gleam anyway. Meet me. He says softly. One coffee. Closure. Let me make it right. Ella's mouth tastes like metal. No. Lena pulls Ella away, and they walk fast, almost running, until they reach Lena's car. Inside, Ella's hands shake so hard she cannot buckle the seatbelt. Lena does it for her, hands gentle. You are safe. Lena says. He cannot hurt you. Ella stares out the windshield. He already did. That night, Ella cannot paint. She cannot eat. She sits on her studio floor, knees hugged to her chest, breathing through panic. A knock comes. Ella opens the door and Elias is there, eyes scanning her face like he is counting bruises. What happened? He asks. Ella tries to speak and fails. Elias steps inside, then stops, as if catching himself. He softens his tone. Tell me. He says. Only what you can. Ella's voice comes out broken. Marcus is back. The warmth leaves Elias's face. Something colder takes its place. Did he touch you? Elias asks. Yes. Ella whispers. He grabbed my wrist. Elias closes his eyes once. When he opens them, his voice is careful. I will not take your choice away. He says. But I will not let him circle you. Ella shakes her head. Do not make it worse. Elias kneels so their eyes are level. He made it worse when he returned. Ella's throat tightens. He said you would use me. A shadow crosses Elias's face. And did you believe him? Ella cannot answer. Fear is loud. Shame is louder. Elias nods slowly as if accepting a wound. I cannot change what happened to you. I can only prove what I am now. He pulls out his phone. If you agree, we start 3 things tonight. Ella swallows. What things? 1. Elias says, voice steady. A legal order that keeps him away from you. 2. Independent authentication, so no one can smear your work again. 3. Your show proceeds on your terms, not mine, not his. Ella's eyes burn. People will still talk. Elias's gaze turns fierce. Let them talk while they watch you stand. 2 days later, the rumors begin anyway. An anonymous blog posts a thread. Knew it, girl painter is a fraud. Screenshots. Cropped images. Old sketches from Ella's college years. Comments pile up. Another rich man's toy. She is sleeping her way into galleries. Her work is stolen. Ella reads until her hands go numb. Lena calls, voice furious. Marcus is behind it. He is poisoning the water before your show. Ella's chest aches. The old wound is open again. Her phone buzzes. Do not read the comments. Come to me, Elias. Ella stares at the message, then types back with shaking fingers. I cannot do this again. Elias replies at once. You will not do it alone, Elias. The night of Ella's solo show arrives with cold air and bright lights. The venue is not a white group gallery. It is a neutral space in Chelsea, funded by a coalition of patrons and foundations. Elias's name is nowhere on the banner. Ella demanded that. Still, the room is full. Collectors. Critics. Curators. People who once walked past her corner without seeing. Ella stands behind the curtain, hands shaking. Lena adjusts her collar like a mother bird fussing over a chick. You are going to destroy them. Lena says. Ella forces a smile. I am going to try not to throw up. A staff member signals. Ms. Petro, 2 minutes. Ella breathes in slow. She smells fresh paint and polished floors. She hears the low hum of an audience waiting to judge. Her phone buzzes. A message from Victoria White. You will never belong. Do not drag my son into your poverty, Victoria. Ella's stomach drops. The old fear tries to climb her spine. Then another message appears, this one from Elias. Do not read poison. Look at your work, Elias. Ella shuts off the phone and puts it away. She steps out into the light. The room quiets as she walks forward. Cameras click softly. A critic leans in. Ella keeps her head up, chin level, hands steady at her sides. Her new series lines the walls. Not polite. Not safe. Raw colors. Sharp edges. Light breaking through cracks. People stare. Some look uncomfortable. Some look moved. Ella begins her short speech, voice clear. These paintings are about survival. She says. Not the heroic kind, the quiet kind, the kind you do alone when no one is watching. I used to think I had to be grateful for any door opened for me. Now I know I can build my own. Her gaze flicks to the back where Elias stands, half in shadow. He is not beside her. He is not in front. He is exactly where he promised to be, close, but not claiming. If you see yourself in these works, Ella finishes. Then you are not alone. Applause rises, hesitant at first, then strong. Ella's chest loosens. Then the doors slam open. Marcus Gray walks in like a man who refuses to accept loss. He carries a folder and a smug smile. The room shifts. Murmurs ripple. Marcus raises his voice. Everyone deserves the truth. Lena starts forward, but Elias catches her arm, calm. Wait. Elias says. Marcus strides toward the front, eyes locked on Ella. Ella, you forgot to tell them where your ideas come from. You forgot to tell them whose drafts you copied. Ella's heart hammers. The old panic snaps at her heels. Marcus flips open the folder and waves papers. I have proof. Sketches. Originals. Elias steps forward before Ella can speak. His voice cuts through the room, low but carrying. Marcus Gray. Marcus looks at him with contempt. Elias White, still playing savior? Elias stops at a polite distance. You came to lie in public, that is bold. Marcus laughs. You cannot stop me. Elias's gaze is cold. I already did. He gestures and the foundation director steps forward, holding a tablet. The authentication report is published. The director says, Ms. Petro is the original creator of her work. The plagiarism allegations are false. Marcus snaps. White bought you. The director's expression turns sharp. Our foundation does not take money from White Group. We refused it. We value independence. That is why we were chosen. A ripple runs through the crowd. Elias lifts his phone. Also, the police are outside. Marcus's eyes widen. You called the cops on me? Elias's voice stays calm. The court issued a restraining order. You violated it by coming here. Marcus backs up one step, face twisting. This is a setup. Ella finally finds her voice steady and clear. No. She says. This is accountability. Marcus turns to her, eyes flashing. You think you are strong now because he is here. Ella meets his gaze. Fear is still there, a shadow. But it is smaller now. I am strong because I am tired of being your victim. She says. Marcus lunges forward, hand reaching, and security grabs him instantly. He struggles, shouting, voice cracking. You will regret this. He is dragged out. Flashing lights bloom outside the glass doors. The room exhales. Applause rises again, louder this time, not for the drama, but for the fact that Ella did not collapse. After the show, the crowd thins. The lights dim. Ella walks through the gallery alone, looking at her paintings as if they belong to someone else. Elias approaches quietly. You were fearless. He says. Ella lets out a breath. I was terrified. Elias nods. Fearless is acting anyway. Ella looks at him, heart pounding. Your mother texted me. A shadow crosses Elias's face. What did she say? Ella swallows. That I will never belong. Elias's jaw tightens. She is wrong. Ella studies him. She will cut you off. He is quiet for a beat. Then he says. She already tried, this morning. Ella's eyes widen. And you are here. Elias's mouth twists into a small, honest smile. I am here. Ella whispers. Why are you so stubborn? Elias looks at her like the answer is obvious. Because I want you, not as a trophy, not as a story, as my person. Ella's throat tightens. She steps closer, then stops, searching his face for the lie. I do not know how to do this. She admits. Elias's voice is soft. Then do it badly at first. Do it honestly. I can handle the mess. Ella laughs through sudden tears. That sounds like another trap. Elias's eyes soften. It is a choice, yours. Ella reaches out, slow, and takes his hand. The contact is simple. Human. Not a cage. Ella's voice shakes. If I choose you, you do not get to save me by erasing me. Elias squeezes once, gentle. I will not. I will stand beside you, and you will keep your name. Ella nods, breathing hard. Outside, the city keeps moving, indifferent and loud. Inside, Ella leans into Elias, and he wraps his arms around her with careful restraint, as if he knows love can be a bruise and a healing at the same time. Ella. He murmurs. Yes. I will not let the world take you from yourself again. He says. Ella closes her eyes. Then do not take me from myself either. Elias holds her, then loosens, respecting the line even in the embrace. I will not. He promises. Not ever. And in the quiet after the storm, Ella finally believes him. 3 months later, spring warms the city in small, stubborn ways. Ella paints in a studio that actually has windows. It is not a gift. It is a lease in her own name, signed with money she earned from her show. The walls are white. The floor is scarred wood. The light is honest. The first time she unlocks the door, she stands inside and cries, quiet and embarrassed. Elias does not try to fix it. He simply stands in the doorway and says, You did this. Ella wipes her face with the heel of her hand. You helped. Elias shakes his head. I stood near you. You walked. That is the difference, and Ella feels it in her bones. Victoria White does not become kind. She does not suddenly approve. But the threats stop. The silence grows longer. The sharp messages disappear. One afternoon, a sealed envelope arrives at Ella's studio. No return address. Heavy paper inside. It is a handwritten note, one line only. If you intend to stay, prove you can endure. V. Lena reads it and rolls her eyes. That woman is allergic to warmth. Ella folds the note carefully and puts it in a drawer. Enduring is something I know how to do. That night, Elias takes Ella to the museum again, the same building where everything started. The gala crowd is gone. The halls are quiet. The security guard nods at Elias, then looks away, pretending not to see the way Elias keeps his hand close to Ella without touching. They stop in front of Lone Light. It has been moved. Better wall. Better lighting. Better placard. Ella stares at it and feels time twist. I hated this painting for a while. She admits. It looked like me when I thought I was alone. Elias looks at the canvas. It looks like you when you refuse to disappear. Ella swallows. You still sound obsessed when you talk like that. Elias turns to her, expression soft. I am obsessed, but I am learning what to do with it. Ella arches a brow. And what is that? Turn it into discipline. He says. Turn it into patience. Turn it into something that does not hurt you. Ella watches him, searching for the old sharp edge. It is still there, but it is contained now, like a blade kept in a sheath. She steps closer. I am still afraid sometimes. Elias nods. I know. Ella looks up, voice quiet. And you are still angry sometimes. Elias exhales once. Yes. Ella reaches for his hand, and this time she does not hesitate. We can be both. She says. We can be afraid and still choose each other. Elias's fingers tighten around hers, gentle. Say it again. Ella laughs softly, cheeks warm. You are impossible. Elias leans in forward, almost touching hers. Say it. Ella looks into his eyes and lets the words come out clean, simple, real. I choose you. She says. Elias closes his eyes like he is absorbing a prayer. When he opens them, his voice is rough. Then I choose you, every day. He does not pull a ring from his pocket. He does not make a scene. He only kisses her, slow and careful, in the quiet hall where her life once cracked open. Outside, New York keeps roaring. Inside, Ella feels something settle. Not a cage. A home.
Thanks for watching. Follow for more romance stories.